Hey everyone, this is Friedel Hagar Raven. I'm here with my recap and review of Snowpiercer season number 2, episode number 1, which is titled "The Tale of Two Trains" or something. Yeah, the time of two engines. My bad. But if you have been following my coverage of the first season, you would know that I am a fan of the series. I know that there are people out there who have enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the movie too, but I really think that the first season did a lot more when it came to fleshing out the characters and fleshing out the type of community that exists in Snowpiercer. So the previous season ended with Big Alice attaching herself to Snowpiercer, the tale of Snowpiercer, and episode number 1 of the second season opens up with Leighton giving us a voiceover or a narration, and he's telling us that now the tale isn't a tale anymore. It's now a borderland, and they have to defend the border. And Big Alice has 40 compartments, while I guess Snowpiercer still has 994 or 96 carriages. I might be wrong. And yeah, Melanie is still outside. She was able to survive, and she's running, and she's trying to get into the train again. She's trying to get towards the connection where Big Alice is connected to Snowpiercer, and she's going to try and get Snowpiercer back online. While all of that's happening, we see that Alex is talking to Leighton and the rest of the group, and yeah, and Leighton is confused about what Mr. Wilford wants. Root is very excited about Mr. Wilford coming back, and yeah, Leighton's like, you know what, Root, you need to chill. We don't necessarily even know what Wilford wants from us. He'll probably end up wanting to kill us. Yeah, Leighton and Root are like, we can talk this out. What do you want? And Alex ends up handing them a list of things, and it's basically a bunch of carrots, cucumber, potato, apple, Floridian oranges, six hens, and all of those agriculture and food stuff. And they only have like 10 or 12 minutes to get everything. And later is like, you know what? Everyone run, everyone grab 2 or 3 things and come back here in 10 to 12 minutes. So they run. While that's happening, Melanie is outside and she has an axe with her, and she starts breaking away the connection in order to bring Snowpiercer online, and Javi and Ben are talking to her because they are communicating over traditional radio signals. And yeah, Ben is like, Melanie, you don't have time. You need to get back inside the train. Your suit can't keep you alive for much longer. You're going to suffer from hypothermia. Melanie's like, you know what, Ben? I'm all right. I need to do this. So she starts breaking the connection, and Snowpiercer comes online. So yeah. So Leighton ends up going to the night car, and Miss Audrey's there, and Leighton is like, I need you to give me the bottle that Wilfred likes. And Audrey is like, Leighton, I am giving you the bottle, but you need to realize this is just the beginning, and Wilfred is going to take everything from us. And then we cut back to Melanie, and she's now below the train, and she has a sticky charge, and she ends up applying this sticky charge to this mechanism there. And she only has one, and she ends up using the sticky charge. And again, Ben is like, Melanie, you need to come back, and the train starts moving, and Melanie is running out of time. So Alex comes back, and now she's accompanied by this weird monstrosity. And yeah, you can really tell that this dude has had experiments done on him, and he looks crazy powerful. So it turns out that they weren't able to complete all of the things, all of the items on Mr. Wilford's list. He needed morphine, but they ran out of morphine because, in season 1 they just finished having a war. But they end up giving aspirin, and aspirin is something that they end up making themselves in the Snowpiercer. And Alice like, you know what? Give me all of the things. I'm going to go back. And Leighton and Root are actually confused about whether or not Mr. Wilford will allow them to live. But yeah, the power is online, the train starts moving, and Leighton and Root are happy about it. But Leighton also is worried about Root. Leighton is like, Root, we just end up fighting a war because of democracy, and we aren't ready to give control over to Wilford, so you need to decide where you stand. And Melanie is outside in the snow, and this is where she notices that it's actually snowing, which is basically impossible, or that's what they thought. But she ends up picking a sample in a test tube of snow, and she ends up boarding Big Alice. And at first I was like, wait, why is one of Big Alice's doors open? Well, it turns out that, yeah, Mr. Wilford wanted Melanie to come inside Big Alice. So she goes back in, and she's also hurt. Her shoulder's hurt. So she comes back in and she takes out off the suit and she gets disinfected. And this is where we get to meet a new character. His name is Kevin, and apparently he knew Melanie from years ago. And he ends up shocking Melanie with an electric stick. And he is like, "Yeah, Melanie, this is for you leaving us all behind to die." And Melanie, I guess she understands that she kind of deserves it. So while that's happening, Leighton is riling up the troops. Leighton is like, this is the border. We have to keep control of the border. We can't let Wilfred's people come into Snowpiercer, so we need to strengthen it. And I need all of you to get ready to, yeah, we might end up going to war again. So Melanie is escorted to Wilfred's office or carriage, which is basically at the end of Big Alice. Inside Wilfred's room, there's this dog called Jupiter, and Jupiter recognizes Melanie, and Jupiter goes to say hi to Melanie. And yeah, this is where we end up seeing Sean as Mr. Wilfred. And considering Sean as an actor, he might end up dying this season. I mean, his characters always die. So these two end up having a conversation, and Sean is like, not Sean, my bad. Wilfred is like, Melanie, come closer. I need to take a good look at you. And Melanie walks over, and I really love their interactions. And Wilfred is like, I need to take control of the train. And what have you been up to? And Melanie is like, yeah, I kept you alive. I kept the idea of you alive in order to keep control of the train. And then she ends up talking about tailies, and Wilfred, of course, doesn't know anything about the tailies. And Wilfred is trying to get information from Melanie that he could use about how many people are in there, who's in charge, and who's driving the Snowpiercer. And Melanie's like, yeah, you aren't going to get anything from me. Again, the train has been taken over by the tailies, so those people are in control. And before Wilfred, and she also tells Wilfred that she won't be giving him any information. He can try to hurt her, but there isn't any way that he can actually hurt her, because I guess basically she lost everything. And that's when Alex comes in carrying all of the stuff that all of the edibles that Wilfred wanted. And yeah, Alex seeing Melanie like that and Melanie getting all emotional, I am looking forward to these two having more interactions, especially after what happened during the final moments of this episode. And Alex is like, yeah, so that's Melanie, and I'm underwhelmed. And Wilfred is like, yeah, that happens. A person might end up being excited about something happening, and when that happens, it's not, yeah, the hype isn't really real. And you can tell that Wilfred's the one who has been taking care of Alex, and Alex is all in Wilfred's group, and she's standing with him, and she's also ignoring her mother, because Melanie is like, Alice, I need you to look at me. And Alex is like, why would I? You're the one who left me, and all of that stuff. But before Melanie can say anything, Kevin comes in and he escorts Melanie away from the office. Then we cut to Snowpiercer, and Ben, Roche, Leighton, and everyone are having a conversation. They are having a meeting, and they're trying to figure out what to do with Mr. Wilfred, because they know that Mr. Wilfred isn't going to wait. He's going to attack. He's going to do something, and they need to attack him before he attacks them. And even though people aren't ready for another war because they just ended one, they ended up losing a whole lot of people during that war. Leighton is like, you know what, as long as I'm alive, Snowpiercer belongs to us. So that ends up motivating these people to be ready for whatever Wilfred throws at them. While that's happening, Root notices that Zara is being ganged up on by some of Leighton's friends, because the tailies know that it was Zara that led to Josie's death, and people want their revenge. They want Zara to face the consequences. And Leighton comes in to save Zara, and he's like, you know what, back off. Zara did what she had to do because Zara is pregnant with my child. And Root is actually she's into that idea. She's like, oh, a baby on Snowpiercer? That's a miracle. I need to keep Zara safe. And before Leighton's friends walk away, they're like, Leighton, I get that you're trying to create a democracy in Snowpiercer, but you making all of these personal decisions, it doesn't sound like a democracy. So you can tell that maybe some of the tailies might end up standing up against Leighton. So Root ends up taking Leighton to the communications room, and she tells Leighton that, Leighton, I need you to understand that I'm on the side of the Snowpiercer, I'm on the side of the people, and they trust you, so you talk to them, you tell them what you want them to learn. And this is where Leighton tells Root that, yeah, he appreciates what she's doing, and then he uses the microphone, and he announces in the Snowpiercer that they need to get ready for martial law, there's no democracy, and of course people are not happy because, again, they fought a literal war. inside the Snowpiercer and they need their democracy. And Bess is there. Bess is like, you know what? I understand, but it's Wilfred. We need to militarize ourselves again, and hopefully we'll get back to democracy soon. Which I'm like, yeah, everyone says that, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So Alex goes and she ends up talking to Melanie, who's being kept as a prisoner. This is where Melanie asks Alex about what happened to her, what happened to Grandpa and Grandma. And Alex is like, yeah, I know that you sent people to take us to Snowpiercer, but my grandparents didn't want to go. They wanted to die at home, and I didn't want to leave them and all of that stuff. And Melanie is very emotional, and Alex doesn't trust her mother right now. There's a whole lot of baggage between them. She takes out the test tube, which has the snow sample, and she's like, what is in this? And Melanie is like, it's just a snow sample. Alice is like, why would you collect a snow sample? And of course, Melanie doesn't tell her. And Alex realizes that her mother is still lying to her, and she walks away. And while that's happening, Root ends up taking Zara and Leighton to one of the rooms that belonged to one of the elite in the Snowpiercer. They were 80 years old, and they ended up taking cyanide when the Tailies attacked because they didn't want to experience a war. So the room's empty, and Root is like, you know what, Zara, you're pregnant, you need to be kept safe, so you stay here. And Leighton is also getting privileges, which again, I don't think that the rest of the people are going to appreciate. While Melanie is in the prison cell, she notices these writings on the wall, which probably means that Wilfred has been keeping certain people in this prison and maybe he's torturing them. Who knows? So Melanie is taken to this lab inside Big Alice, and we get to meet these crazy doctors. I guess they're married and they're called Hardwoods or something. And these doctors are crazy. You can tell that Wilfred ended up giving them free reign. They could do anything they want, and that just ended up increasing their eccentricness. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if these are the two doctors who ended up experimenting on that huge dude. So they sit Melanie down and they take out this synthetic tissue gel, which is able to heal Melanie up. And yeah, these scientists are geniuses, but they're unhinged, so they might end up doing something crazy. Then we cut to Pike, and of course, Pike being Pike. He hears a knock on the door and he opens it up a bit, and there's this person from Big Alice who wants to trade weed with Pike for some fruit and food. And of course, Pike accepts. He gives him an apple and an orange for some weed, and yeah, it's a mess. So LJ and Oz end up walking into the tail, and LJ is like, "Oh, this is the first time I've ever been to the tail, and you're right, it smells." And Oz is like, "Yeah, that's what happens." But the Australian guy who's friends with Leighton, he stops Oz and LJ, and I actually like the nickname he gave Oz. He's like Brakeman Blowy. Well, yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, people don't like Oz and LJ because LJ is a straight up murderess. I mean, she likes killing people, and LJ is very excited about Wilfred coming back. And I guess she's going to try and side with Wilfred. She might end up causing tension between Wilfred and Alex. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing LJ meeting Alex. She might end up even trying to kill Alex. Who knows? As far as Oz is concerned, I think Oz is trying to find some purpose in his life. So let's see what writers decide to do with this queer character. And Leighton and Roche are trying to come up with a plan about how they need to take the fight to Wilfred. While they're walking, they end up smelling someone smoking weed, and they find Pike smoking weed. And Pike is like, "Yeah, I was trading with people from Big Alice." And Leighton's like, "Yeah, that's our way in." So they end up calling the trading person again, and as the trading person opens the door, the fighters from Snowpiercer charge in, and yeah, it's bad. Melanie and Wilfred are eating dinner, and they're again talking about wanting to take control over Snowpiercer, and Melanie isn't giving him anything. And we also see one of Wilfred's assistants. I think her name is Psyche or Sky. She's also testing Wilfred's food, and you can tell that Wilfred has this power over people, and he can make them do anything he wants. He has this god complex as well. She's the one who ends up telling Wilfred that the Snowpiercer has breached Big Alice, and Wilfred is like, "How the heck did that even happen? Anyway, I need you to send Bob." And Sky is like, "Wait, you need to send in Cold Bob or Oil Bob?" And he's like, "Who do you think?" So yeah, while Leighton and his forces are fighting, Mr. Experimental Bob comes in and he ends up hitting an old guy who was previously having a conversation with Bess about how she needs to be ready to die, because if a warrior isn't afraid of death, then that warrior can give their 100% during battle, and that old man dies, and he ends up falling on Bess. And Mr. Cold over here, he ends up bringing in cold air from the outside, and people start freezing up. And Leighton and his forces have to retreat, and they notice that nothing is happening to the cold guy, which basically means that he's been experimented on. And I guess those crazy scientists are the one who did it. So Leighton comes back in, and Root isn't happy about Leighton charging in with an attack, and she wasn't notified about it. And Leighton is like, "Yeah, Root, it had to be done. It was a military decision. It was under martial law." But he also says that they have upper hand because they can now try and trade their hostage, Kevin, with Melanie. And Kevin is like, "Yeah, you all are crazy." Root remembers Kevin too. And yeah, Kevin is like, "You all are crazy. Wilfred doesn't care about any of you. He doesn't even care about me. He doesn't care about your agriculture or plants or food. He can start everything up if he wants to." And that, of course, concerns Root and everyone else. Wilfred then comes back to Melanie, and he's like, "Oh, wow, the people on Snowpiercer they aren't smart, because they really think that I care about Kevin, and I might end up bowing down because they have a hostage." And Melanie is like, "Yeah, they're new at this, so they don't necessarily know who you really are." And again, Wilfred wants to take control over from Melanie, and Melanie's like, I'm not giving you the control. And he ends up forcing Melanie into the control center, where Melanie notices that Alex is an engineer, and of course she's very proud of her daughter. But Alex, yeah, there's still a whole lot of tension between them. And this is where Wilfred orders Alex to stop the train. And Melanie is like, "Why would you do that?" And Alex is like, "Yeah, of course, gladly, I'll do it." So the train stopped. And of course, Spike and the rest are very worried, because they are like, "Oh, I guess Wilfred is going to try and freeze us to death." And yeah, Wilfred is like, "Disconnect from the Snowpiercer so that we can go in reverse, and then when we come back, everyone on Snowpiercer will be dead, and I'll force Melanie to deal with their bodies." And Melanie tries to talk to her daughter, and she's like, "Alex, don't do this. You don't want the death of so many people on your conscience." And Alex is all Mr. Wilfred right now. And she's like, I'm going to listen to Mr. Wilfred, and I'm going to try and disconnect. And she tries to disconnect, but remember the sticky bomb that Melanie attached? Well, when the mechanism for the disconnect activates, it ends up triggering the bomb. And yeah, it turns out that Big Alex and Snowpiercer are now permanently connected. And yeah, Melanie is smart. Mr. Wilfred really underestimated her. Melanie isn't going down without a fight, and she'll even kill someone, like she killed Josie, in order to get what she wants. And of course, Alex is very impressed with her mother, because again, both of them are engineers, while Mr. Wilfred is more of an idea guy. And Alex is like, "Wilfred, Dubs, well, she got you. So what do we do now? We have to start the train, or else both trains will freeze to death." And Wilfred, of course, I guess this is the first time he has to surrender, kind of. And he's like, "Okay, activate everything." And everything is activated. And Leighton is like, "Even though we are still alive, this is going to be a very cold war, and we need to get ready." And this is where the episode ends. And again, I enjoyed this episode very much, and I will be doing a written review of this for the Geek Theory. The link to that will be down in the comment section below. And also, I have a giveaway, you all. If you want to win the entire first season of Snowpiercer, I have a digital code given to me from WBros Home Entertainment for free, and I'm willing to give it to you guys. If one of you ends up winning the giveaway, the instructions will also be written in the comment section below, as well as the description. However, I'm going to also show them on screen. So basically, what I need you all to do is, at first, I have to tell you that this giveaway is only for US residents who have access to Vudu or Movies Anywhere. So I do apologize. For the restrictions. Anyway, for those of you who are capable of entering this giveaway, what I need you to do is that I need you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, the Geekery YouTube channel. And then I also want you to share this video on Twitter, and also follow the Geekery on Twitter. And in the comment section of this video, I need you to tell me what did you think of this episode, even if it's in just 1 or 2 words. Was it great? Were you expecting more? And I also need you to place the link of the tweet down in the comment section below, showing me that you ended up sharing this video on Twitter, and that you're also following us on the Geekery. And a winner will be selected at random. And this giveaway is starting right now, the moment that this video went up. And I guess I'll have it run until, let me see, run until this Saturday, the 30th of January, and on the 31st or the 1st of February, I'll choose a winner, and the winner will be selected at random. So make sure your DMs on Twitter are open, or that you're able to receive messages or notifications on YouTube. So because I'll try to DM you on Twitter, and I'll also try to leave a comment down below, and try to contact you through YouTube. And if a selected winner doesn't respond in 24 hours, I'll go ahead and select another random winner. But yeah, again, look at the screen for the proper instructions, or you can read the description below, or the comments, or the pinned comment below. And yeah, good luck. So if you wanna be the owner of a digital copy of the entire season, of the entire first season of Snowpiercer, enter this giveaway. And yeah, until next time, stay happy, stay safe, stay blessed. See you guys later. Bye.